wow, the time just changed. We are at the top of the hour. I feel like a radio, you got to pull up the microphone. We're now at the top of the hour. Bung, bung, bung. I want to thank Bill, Tim, and Monica for the next hour we get to spend together. This has been just a little too easy this month because I never have to think, what time zone is that person in? Did I say it right? Did I represent them in messages? Not just say my time zone and not just say US time zones. And now we have all hung out together. We have been in several spots in Waco. Only one of you has been to where we live, where Scott and I live. And thank you, husband Scott, who's always making this a smooth interaction. It's a conversation. Who has been to our house? Yay! All righty. So that was Monica with both hands saying, I want to go first. I want to talk about what I do.
Well, I always want to go first.
Yay! And sometimes, I don't know, Bill or Tim, have you ever seen her sitting at a grocery store?
I have not.
Neither have I.
No, but Tim has seen me at a coffee shop.
I have seen her sitting at a coffee shop working diligently, but not at a grocery store.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, there's a reason for that. I'm going to let her tell all about it because I would just be making stuff up. And that is why I came to her, because she knows what she's talking about. I am just smart enough to go ask the expert. Woo!
Oh, well,
Monica, you are an expert. You're an expert at several things, at finding a great place to vacation with family.
Oh, true.
Yes.
Yeah. I like little spots, just to find little gems, and where you can just drive a few hours and there's a little gem and you can spend, the weekend there, make an extended weekend, 3-4 nights. And it just takes you away, where you can decompress and turn all the devices off and just enjoy. Because if I'm at home, I always find myself working.
Yes, if you're a little too close to home, you can run back and get that one thing.
Yeah.
If you're gone, you've been transported. Besides that, what do people just go, phew, Monica has saved us.
Yes. Thank you for asking that. So I do get that all the time. And as you mentioned, I was at the local grocery store. I go to coffee shops. I do events around senior communities. And what I do is I really specialize in healthcare plans, insurance plans, mostly in Medicare. That's where my forte is. I find it to be very rewarding. And I really, like you said, people come to me, go, I'm having this issue, or I don't understand this. Can you please explain it? And that's what I do. And I help them understand how Medicare works and the best plan for them based on their needs. It's very individualistic. It's also based on what point you are in your life. Oftentimes, when people first turn 65, maybe they just retired and they haven't had a whole lot of time to get some much needed dental work done. So whatever their needs are based on their health, any upcoming surgeries, dental, fitness, anything like that, we help put together a plan that works best for them at that point in their life. And then about every 2 to 3 years, sometimes even 5, we like to revisit it because things change. Maybe we now need a knee surgery or a shoulder surgery and some of those things. So it's a good time to reevaluate your plan and determine, what's best for you moving forward.
Great. And yes, I did turn 65. And before I turned 65, I talked to you.
Yes.
And it's highly recommended that before you reach whatever pinnacle or something that people always talk about, before you get there, just like vacations we were talking about, before you get there, knowing something ahead of time. You're either looking it up on devices, you're asking your neighbor, but how really was it? Because maybe the pictures are a little bit too glossy, then you want to ask, where would you recommend, but maybe ask more than one person, where you would recommend to make sure to visit so you don't miss out, because people are going to have different perspectives. But Monica, you're kind of all that together because you are I can't even think of the word right now.
A broker.
You are a broker.
Right.
So you really are next to my shoulder, not next to your a particular company that has a particular way of handling things. So a broker is there for the individual, and you can really speak to that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So oftentimes there's agents and they just write for one company. They're called captive agents. And you usually get these calls from people, and you see ads on TV to call about your Medicare. Those are either captive agents or they're just customer service reps that are given a script to call. So what's nice about working with a broker in your area, and really, for example, I'm licensed in the state of Texas, so I have all over Texas. And as you know, Texas is a very big state. It'd be very difficult for me to travel to see them every location. It could take me 2 days to go from Amarillo all the way down to Laredo, for example. So, having a broker who specializes will help identify your needs, match it to different companies, whether it's a Medicare supplement plan, a Medicare Advantage plan, or staying with your group health plan if that's available for some folks. So just evaluating all that and then matching that to the companies to find the best option. Versus a captive agent is going to try to sell you the insurance for the company they work for so they get the commission. I don't look at it for me. I look at it for you, because as long as I can put you in the best plan, I'm going to make a commission. But I'm always thinking of you first.
There's just a lot of different options. I want to just ask you a question that I think I already know the answer to before I go to Bill. But I want to hear you say it in that clear way that you do, because you have answered this question many times and you actually wish people would ask you this. So a moment ago, I suggested, before you spend the time and your hopes and dreams and your money on a vacation, consulting something more than just one website or one person's recommendation. If someone decides, I do want to listen to Monica for whatever reasons, she speaks my heart language because you are bilingual.
Yes.
I've seen her face at other community events and I just like her, or someone is recommended. But how much money are they going to invest listening to you before maybe they check out something else? How much do you charge an hour?
Oh, good question. Well, I don't charge by the hour. As a consultant, I gather information, I make the presentation, and then once you decide whether you're going to go with one of the companies I recommend, then if I write you for that particular company, I get paid a commission. So our relationship between you and I, there's never an exchange of money, not with Medicare. It's against Medicare rules. So we make sure that all your bases are covered. We're here to give you advice and educate you and help you make an informed decision for the best plan. And oftentimes, I just met with a gentleman the other day on Friday. He already had a plan, and it was a group Medicare supplement plan that he's been on, and I actually advised him to stay on that plan. It was the best plan for him. Now, I didn't gain his business, but I did gain his friendship. And he will always remember that. And he will oftentimes send me referrals. So that's an example of how I like to work. I believe in building relationships with people, so there's trust, and it always comes back. It always comes back. I have one person that is not a client, and I bet he's already sent me 4 or 5 referrals for people that are, and he's going to continue to do that. So, one of the things I wanted to mention that I noticed about people on Medicare, whenever you get to your early 60s, it's when you need to really start thinking about Medicare. Because at 65 is when you become eligible. And if you decide to go on the Medicare route, there's only a 7-month window that you can enroll. And that's the month of your 65th birthday, 3 months prior, or 3 months post. If you delay and do not enroll after that 7-month period, you could endure a late enrollment penalty from Social Security for the rest of your life. And that LEP, late enrollment penalty, will accrue every day. So the longer you go without Medicare insurance and then you decide to get it, the higher that late enrollment penalty fee will be.
Wow. And you were able to show me a lot of different options. And because we had a trust relationship built, I could say to you, well, I think this, I feel that, I wonder about, my health. I know my background, and you were able to reassure me what I can change my mind about.
Correct.
Next year and the next year. So this isn't a one and done. This is continued living. This is longevity. This is you're keeping control over your decisions.
Right. And having a broker helps you along the way as you age and different things are occurring in your life. So
yay. Well, it was a very pleasant experience. And the first time we met in a more professional setting, and the second time it just worked out. You don't ask to come to a home. You're not checking around to go, I need to know what this person's about. It's just that it was kind of fun, and I got to serve you some snacks, and we really liked that salsa.
It was delicious. I have bought it.
HEB. You have?
Oh yeah, there's some in my fridge right now.
All righty. Well, there you go. And it's at HEB that I have seen you sitting at a table, and people could just come up and go, can you just tell me something, because I don't know anything.
Right.
Or my significant other person at home says, oh, let's not mess with it. But I feel like I need a little more information. And it's just, they're on their way out with groceries. They're on their way in with groceries. And you just make it really easy to ask questions.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yay. Bill, I want to go over to you because you are my first ever resume writer. And I've been doing this every week since August of 2022, finding groups of people. Occasionally it's been individuals, and some of them have been pre-recorded, but we are live. And still you all came. Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
It's like, I want to make sure I can be edited. This is just like we have done when we've stood. I think Bill and I stood at one of those cafe height tables. Mm-hmm. We were outside.
House and Friends of Waco. Or no, it was Business After Hours, I think, right? At Central Providence. Yeah.
It's been at least 3 different places. Mm-hmm. Definitely at the hospital, because they were showing their dementia wing, and it was kind of an opportunity to see that. And then and an opportunity for me to introduce my husband to you, because you had just a little too much in common, and that makes people excited. It's like, you're kidding. You were there and I was there. So, Bill, you can start talking about military, you can start talking about how you came upon this. It probably all goes together because who you've been absolutely feeds and flows through who you are now.
Okay, how long do you want me to talk?
I'll put up this little happy St. Patrick's, because that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go.
Okay, got it.
It's like, that's been really nice. Okay, we got to get to Tim. I can't shortchange Tim because he's had to put up with me.
You put up with me too. So anyway, and I took him to one of our dinners.
She did
one time, so enjoyed that. Okay, yeah, I'm Bill Porter. I'm the founder of Job Harvest Resume Designs.com, or in short, Job Harvest Resumes for short. I was retired Army colonel and served for almost 30 years. And when I was in the military, well, thank you, appreciate that, thanks. And when I was in the military, you had to know how to write very well to get your idea across. And there's even an Army manual on how how to write military style. Basically tips on good writing. Okay, and you'd be surprised some of the stuff I've seen that was not good. But anyway, so I learned how to write and developed a real love for it. I love to write and love to draw too. So anyway, I became when I left the service, I became became a resume writer. I was one focused on technical writing, and which I did both of them for a while. Then I changed to resume writing because I can help people personally, one-on-one, achieve their goals. That is the goal of getting a job. That's what states in my my mission statement on my business card, to help others find meaningful employment and put food on the table. It's all it is, nice and simple. Anyway, the what Christine was telling you all just now, just to clarify, her husband, and me, we were both, her husband and I were both over in Korea, Republic of Korea, back in 1983 and 1984. I was up in the demilitarized zone, up in the joint security area, facing off of the North Koreans at the truce village of Panmunjom. I commanded the guard force there. And he was down in Osan Air Base, I believe. Okay. And so our tours of duty overlapped. I don't know exactly when he got over. That was there from March of 83 through March of 84. And had my command over there. And came back, and I never, ever wanted to go back there. So anyway, I enjoyed my time over there. It's one of those places that, electronic security group at Osan. Okay, he probably provided support for us, not even knowing about it when I was way up north. That was, our mission statement was in front of them all, everybody else. So for whatever that's worth, but let me get off this. That's how we have something in common. Just real quick, thanks Scott. He's listening in. Thank you, Scott, for giving me these sample questions to go on. I made up some little talking notes, and I'll be very brief. Don't forget to hold up your card. We want me to stop and give somebody else a turn. Okay, please. Anyway, one of the things he said, how would you work with a person who feels that they're beyond the typical age that's likely to be hired for a position or intends to start up a business like me, when their peers are out pickleballing, enjoying life and whatnot. And so I figured, well, I'd congratulate them. Not many people have the courage to do this.
Wow.
Deciding they want to, want to do. By the way, if you have anything to say, please stop me. Right. Any of y'all. Okay. Any questions or anything? Okay. Let's see. Use myself as an example. I'm starting a business at age 67. Just before that, I worked as a remote resume writer starting at age 63. And one writer on my team was over 70 years of age, back when I was my previous job. Let's see. Before that, I started working 2 jobs as a technical writer at age 58 and 59, respectively. I retired from the military at age 51. I was overseas as a contractor. And I'm still working. I love it. Let's see. I would talk through, ensure that, speaking with the clients to emphasize their vast knowledge, experience, and wisdom in their targeted positions. A lot of younger applicants don't have this. I'll just come around and say many younger applicants don't have what the mature folks had. as I also suggest, they maybe start out working part-time if the job allowed that, and emphasize they'd be working a job that gives them a sense of purpose. Too many people I've seen who are retirees and they travel like that. Traveling gets old after a while. I've traveled the world, and it got to be a pain after a while. And but just a sense of purpose, sense of wanting to do something. I'd be, if I wasn't doing this, chose to sit out, I'd be a couch potato in here, or else go out exercising, whatever. And but I wouldn't have a sense of purpose. Showcasing their values. Let's see, strong on their resumes. I advise people to include quantifiable accomplishments on their resumes. And clearly, over 95% of the people don't do this. I mean, at all. They just write down their little. I got resumes right now I'm working on that just has a little brief job description, what they did, and that's it. It doesn't show it shows what they did, but it didn't show what they accomplished, which are two entirely different things. For example, saved X thousands, or I'm really getting down to the weeds right now. Just showing. I'll give you just a few examples. Saved money over the X thousands of millions of dollars last fiscal year. Brought in new revenue streams. Put in a process and raise productivity by X%, something like that. And you really have to sit down and think of what you did back in the past. You hadn't already done so. And most people don't have this. Let's see, earned a high rating on an inspection, or gotten rated in top 10% of their peer group on an evaluation. They should have evaluations, what they have, what they've received in the past, if the company provided evaluations. In the military, by law, had to do that for all of its officers and sergeants, non-commissioned officers. And so, I have about 265, almost 300 evaluations and whatnot in my file that I've downloaded, and that's what the records I have. I've taken a congratulatory email from a supervisor, stuff like that. Really helps out a lot. It shows you, to the hiring manager that you are a valued person in this job, the previous, and the previous, and the previous. Okay, and the hiring manager's looking for this, and they, I've been trained with a client to help them, get this, even if they haven't. That's why I love talking with the clients so much. If they have this, show me some stuff from their evaluations, and I figure, okay, I can make this into quantifiable stuff. And just talk with them, say, when did you do this? How much time did you save? Okay, you reduced time by 80% for this task, from 1 week down to, 2 hours, something like that. And, then I can show them how this works, put that on their resume. And then, show this to you personally, Christine, on, if they have a evaluation, they did a really terrific job, or an award or something like that, or just a quote from their evaluation. Put that on the resume too. Put that at the end of the job history. That one job that you're talking about, what the client has said to you, like exceeded the best, exceeded standards, nothing but the best, really super, super person. I would, I trust them with my life in their hands, something like that. Put that as a quote at the end of the job history, and that's you come across very, very positive, to say the least.
I can envision that. I feel like you showed me.
I did show you.
Yes. And I went, okay, so here you have, we'll say in a slightly larger font, or maybe bold, or maybe it's italicized. Yes, it's italicized. And so here I am just glancing at this, and maybe I'm one of those, okay, I make my decision in 60 seconds whether I'm going to continue reading this person's resume or I'm sticking it over in the no-go whatever pile. It blends in pile. And here are just a few lines going, this person made a change at the factory that has diminished the number of injuries. And it's like, oh, this person showed up on time, no matter the weather, I could always rely on them. And it's like, okay, I want to know more about this person, because this is what I want to hire, not somebody who's going, well, I've done this before,
And
so
you
I
take
figure.
a few of those, you put them on your cover letter, okay? Because a cover letter is an introduction for, and it has the introduction on there, and I can tailor cover letter to the resume. Been there, done it plenty of times. I just put a couple little bullets on there, like on the cover letter. Oh, okay. You read more about this in the resume. So you invite
Bill,
them.
I can totally agree with what you're saying. I've looked at resumes before
I bet
on
you have.
like Indeed and things of that nature. And, I always find the name to be interesting and how they put their name and what kind of font, the letters that they use. But, you want to just do an overall glance of things. And what you're talking about, the italics, the bold, that's what pops out. That's what's
Yes,
front and
yes.
center. And so that will then draw you, if you see something interesting in that italics or in bold and it draws your attention, now you can go to what's behind it and all those details.
Exactly. Yes, that's right. And people think, oh, I have a real nice looking, beautiful, flowery resume I paid $1,000 for and whatnot with a photograph on there and 2-piece swimsuit or whatever. Just think that's going to get them. No, it's not going to get them the job. It's going to be the info in there, the hard hitting info. You can have all sorts of pictures, flowery stuff, and and curly cues and paisleys and whatnot. But that's not going to do the trick. It's what's going to be what is your substance in there and how well you state that. Okay.
And you want it to stand out from the rest.
You want to stand out from the rest. Yeah, that's why I have my personal resume. It has just a tiny bit of color in there. Okay, just a tiny bit of color. It has blue gray, like corporate gray, on my name, and it's it still has the the italics and all on my targeted job title. Like I say, for technical writer, and when I checked one of my evaluation reports on there said his procurement, as a technical writer, he did procurement, whatever like that. I took that excerpt and put that right under the targeted job title and bolded the word technical writer. So they see technical writer, look at that. Oh, he's already done this. Okay, then that whets their appetite for a little bit more. It shows that I'm already qualified in that job, from times past. And then I just, kind of lead, not lead them on, but show them more what they're looking for.
Bill, you give a narrative, like say it this way, not I worked, I brought value, say that you're giving them a narrative. You remind me of a keynote that I heard from Nancy Backey. She is based in Canada. And the two things that stuck out to me was I have been recognized as an expert. I have been recognized as, I've been recognized by such and such company or such and such government, whatever, as this. And the other word was hired. I've been hired to be, I've been hired to provide, not just I worked at XYZ company. It's like the change is, someone else thought you were valuable.
Yes, that's right. When you have on there that you were hand selected for such and such, the assistant toilet scrubber or whatever like that, that's that's saying something. Hand selected, out of a peer group or whatever to do something.
Right,
that's selected. Or if you occupied a duty position that was at least maybe one rank or two ranks above your own, back in that's happened to me several times. I was doing the job of lieutenant colonel as a captain, which was two ranks below that, and that really that added some good weight on there. But anyway, how to help a person, again, put up your sign if I'm talking too much. How would you help a person to craft a resume with life skills gained? It said, and again, I thank Scott for his notes here, the sample questions, because I really jumped on them. And I emphasize the volunteering aspect. Volunteering job is looked upon with special admiration, believe you me, from hiring managers. I figure that you've dedicated your life, your time to helping others without any thought of compensation whatsoever, and that has a special place in their hearts. And
that would make I am going to put it up, but that would make a difference in whether you even want to get hired by that person. If they're like, you helped with that. You mitigated that problem. You were by their side for how many years?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know,
This was a caregiver, that's
yes. So yeah, I learned this from Tim. Except he had a mean looking animal picture that he brings up, and he has to do that. It worked on me, boy. I was like, when we were in an in-person group, I think Monica saw me go from across the room. But I've had so much, but I'm ready for more. Like just the information from both Bill and Monica and Tim. I see the words on your business card, and I think, oh, I'm sorry. Say again, Bill.
I said, Tim's going to top it off. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. There we go. Best for last.
There you go.
We won't even talk about the two-piece swimsuit, to get people's attention. Although I've really seen some odd ads where I'm like, does this gentleman really want people to trust them? Because they're always making themselves look silly. And so I appreciate that, Tim. I believe you've even had like a new headshot done, and you're always improving. He is volunteering right now, actually in the same position that Monica used to volunteer with a networking group that has made a difference in our household. So, Tim, I don't know which thing you're going to talk about. I think of golf when I think of you, but I don't know when you get time to golf, because you seem to be in 2 to 3 places at once all the time.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, thank you for inviting me in. And Bill, thank you for your service, number one, both military and what you're doing for seniors. And I want to give a shout out to Monica as well. Monica met with my wife and I a little over a year ago and helped answer questions. And I'm in the retirement mortgage specialist role right now with Fairway Reverse Mortgage. And when I'm sitting here listening, I'm finding that Monica and Bill and I, and even Christine and Scott, have something in common. We are coaching people, and I'm sure Monica and Bill can relate to this. I talk to people that say, "Well, my broke uncle told me about this," or "My son told me I should do this." And I'm sure Bill and Monica get the same thing of, "Well, my sister's cousin, she helped me with my resume." Or I read on Facebook something about Medicare. And, as we all age in place, if you will, and age for the better, we need to identify coaches. We need to make sure that the information we are gathering, number one, is from a reliable source. And most importantly, a source that we can continue to ask questions and get explanations so that we understand the why behind the reason for the answer and everything. So, just honored to be on this program with Monica and Bill and Christine. Thank you again for allowing me to come on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Fairway Reverse Mortgage. We are a part of Fairway Independent Mortgage, the largest privately held mortgage company in the country. And I like to talk about the reverse mortgage as the Swiss Army knife of retirement. And it's a very misunderstood product, but there are different avenues. Some days we are helping a widow or widower who has lost their spouse of many years of marriage. Therefore, they've lost maybe a portion or a lot of their income, but they're living house rich and cash poor, meaning they're living in a nice home that's worth $400,000, $500,000, but they're struggling on a monthly basis. As we know, cost of living has continued to go up. It will continue to rise. Cost of Social Security benefits or pension benefits have not risen to the same level that cost of living has. Therefore, we have a lot of seniors. And when I say seniors, I talk seniors that 62 and older, because that's the requirement for a reverse mortgage. You have to be 62 or older. So that's my senior category. But we've got a lot of people, as Bill talked about, a lot of people still want to play pickleball or golf or do more activity, more travel with their grandchildren. And quite honestly, they can't afford to do it, again, while they're sitting in a nice home, enjoying life at home, but stressed about money and finances. So
Yeah.
we get to help widowers that lose some income. It's also the fastest growing retirement tool. The line of credit option that's available to seniors is a real asset to financial planners right now as they're looking to research. Because a lot of seniors think they are set and they're well on their way, but what if they live another 10, 15, 20 years, which is very possible these days. So, all right. Any questions I can answer, Christine, directly?
Well, this reminds me, first of all, I get smarter every Monday. I cannot speak to these subjects like each of you. There was, oh goodness, a year or more ago, a person who talked about, I'm going to say it wrong, so someone who knows better, correct me, talking about selling your life insurance.
Yep.
And she explained it so clearly.
Yep.
It is simply a matter of your circumstances have changed. Your core values have been met.
Yep.
I bought this because I thought someone else was going to need it.
Yep.
They don't. And once again, I've got something that has value to someone else, making them beneficiary,
Yep.
to someone else that is not who I thought I was buying this for. And this person, the gal that was my guest says, and I am working for my person, the person who's come to me,
Yep.
oftentimes recommended someone else says, explore this option, see what you think. You're never forced. And for this person to go, well, how do I know I'm getting the best? It's like, because I don't give you anything but the best. I will find the best for you,
Yep.
the most bang, the most bucks,
Yep.
and a situation that you can live with and feel good about. And let's start paying down those medical bills, the cost of that one medication month after month, so
Yep.
that you can breathe easy. And sure, you're probably going to need to tell a family member, this is how things are changing.
Yep.
And if that person was worth getting a life insurance, they would be going, hooray, I'm so glad you're taking care of yourself.
Yep.
My goodness, I don't need that.
And I get the exact same thing. And selling your life insurance policy is one of many options that seniors have. And I like to share with people, most people that are homeowners spend a lot of money paying into their home. And then once they have the home, it's either free and clear or maybe a small mortgage left. That's sacred. And I get that. But at the same time, if you need money or you want to do things later in your life, your house has been an investment that now can start paying for some or all of those features. It could pay for long-term insurance. It could pay for, going out and getting a resume because you want to go back to work just to have a purpose. It may pay for different things that, are available to you. So I want to share with, the audience that really what I love about your show, Christine, is that you bring on experts, and that's who people need to be talking to, because, Monica will be the first one to tell you things change every year within Medicare, and the average person cannot keep up with that. Same thing with mortgages, same thing with resumes and connecting to get a job. Things are changing. We are in a fast moving society right now, and you need to have experts in your camp. I treat it almost like, if you go to your doctor and you get a physical, That's great. But if the doctor says, hey, I suspect some kidney issues or cardiology issues or whatever, you're going to go to a specialist. And that's what you bring to the table here, Christine. You bring in specialists so that people don't have to trust uninformed friends who have good meaning or uninformed family members. Again, their intentions are good, but sometimes the wrong information could send somebody down the path the wrong way.
Exactly. And a person who would absolutely agree with you is Russ Hedge. He has been listening and saying hi to everyone in the chat. He is our friend in Salem, Oregon, which is the capital of Oregon, not the bigger, not the larger town. And he is also, he co-hosts with my husband twice a week. And they do the same thing, bring someone in who knows what they're talking about, loves to give accurate information, is a person that you could go to, even to say, what questions should I be asking? If you're making a decision in a different state, a different country, it's like, what kind of questions should I be asking? Because I don't even know which words to put to this. What I am hearing, what I'm seeing in an ad, you know, what I've, what's come up on my screen, what my neighbor, my older brother is talking about. And again, Monica will tell you something that was in effect last year does not exist this year. And that means that all those people that are just like, well, I'm using I always say XYZ. It's just better than, I don't know that there's any companies called XYZ. You know, well, I feel good because I signed up for XYZ. And it's like, poof, somebody popped that balloon. It's gone. And new decisions need to be made. So there were words assigned to particular things last year that Monica spends hours every month becoming informed, and just as many hours talking with people.
Yep, absolutely. Monica also mentioned timelines within Medicare, and I would share with you, as far as your retirement planning, probably the most frustrating part of my job is when clients come to me and their credit situation or their cash flow situation is such that had they talked to me 6 months ago or a year ago, we could have had a game plan in place. We could have structured things a lot different. So, you know, it never hurts. Like Monica, I don't charge for a consulting. I just want to educate. I want to present people with their options. The reverse mortgage may or may not be an option for that person at that time. That's okay. My role is to educate and to provide possible solutions to a situation that you're going through or about to go through. And this may be an avenue, to help that out.
Tim, could I ask you a question about that? Because I'm actually curious for myself. If
you bet.
Well, not for me, but people that my mom, for example, would it be better to go through the savings, the dividends, life insurance policies before they go to a reverse mortgage, or consider the reverse mortgage before they relinquish all of those things?
Great question. And like a snowflake, each reverse mortgage is different. I'm not a big fan of draining all of your assets before you get to the reverse mortgage, because that puts you in a position as a reverse mortgage of last resort. If you've got investments right now, the best thing you can do with your investments is let them keep growing. We're going to be, in a position over the next several years that the stock market most likely is going to continue to rise. Home values are going to continue to rise. Therefore, you've got assets within your home right now. So the short answer is, Monica, it may be the best avenue, but the best answer is let's sit down and talk with that person and really map out a strategy and a game plan with a financial planner, with, somebody that's in the know on the reverse mortgage aspects.
I made up a quote during these years that I've been doing this, and that is, I've never heard someone say, I regret being so well informed ahead of time.
Love it. Love it.
It's
Yeah.
like ahead of what? Oh, a crisis,
Yep.
something that is something you're looking forward to, and it's like, oh, I know where to go. I know several places that I can go to get what I need to either do something that I think of as a positive, or to stick, something better than my finger in the dike to stop the leak. I think
Yep.
it was the little Dutchman or something that stuck their finger there, saved the town. I don't remember the story, but it's like, well, how long can you do that? It's like, oh my goodness, if he had been well informed, it's like, I got to make sure that I've got something I can pound into there, and then I can go warn the village and we can all work together. Bill, there were things that you said about putting together a resume that just made me go, oh, I want that man to help me. Now, if I'm watching this,
Really.
oh, say again.
I said, thank you. I'm very flattered. I really am.
Oh, good. Oh, good. If I am watching this in replay because Scott happens to find a really good, picture of us talking, and someone goes, I like those people. I don't know what it is I like about them, but they all look engaged, and they click on this one and they hear you talking. I want to make sure that they find out, I'm in Massachusetts, I'm in the UK, and I don't do resumes, I do a CV.
Right.
Can that person contact you, or do you have resumes that are kind of regional? They really more apply to this area geographically?
They're more applied to this area. Let me admit something. I've never done a CV in my life. Okay, I've done resumes. I've done private sector resumes as well as government resumes. People are getting hit by Doge and whatnot. Hey, I'm here. So it's got to figure out a way to advertise to them. Like I said, people getting laid off. Unfortunately, I'll be more than happy to extend my services and help them too.
Well, see, that's just another area of expertise that I didn't put it together, even though you were talking military. Is that government resumes? You know what the government's looking for. It's like the person who says, I just want to get an A on this test. What does the teacher want? I want to give them what they want. It's like, I want to be seen as a grade A candidate. What does the government want to see?
I know how to do government resumes, but again, if people keep records of a lot of people don't. We keep records of their past records of what they quantifiable accomplishments. Let me put in a plug right now. I did this when I was over in Africa. I was over there for 17 months. I started doing this about the last 6 months I was there. I started a little file. It's adding to a document about once a week what I did during the previous week. Like Elon said, what'd you do? What are the 5 things you did last week? Well, I could have probably given him half a dozen or at least or whatever, if that'd been me. But I kept records on my accomplishments, on what I did. When it came time for my final evaluation report, I took that and just put that on there. And so they basically said, okay, fill it out yourself. Write up your own evaluation report for yourself. We'll sign off on it. Okay, sure will. We got that. Sometimes they, superiors do that. They don't have time to do it, or else they trust you. So.
Wow, that sounds like a confidence boost too. That if a person will say they journal regularly, like
that's right.
Not Dear Diary so much as met Tim Harder for the first time. Monica helped answer some questions. Bill Porter and I talked about our military days, and to put off to the side, I encourage someone to seek help, like mental health help. And then you're flipping the page going, I did that here too. And somebody else
Yeah.
talked to me about, I'm in a personal crisis. And it's like, I love doing that, but I've never done it as a job. I mean, that's just giving me like a direction to go. I generally just like to give people an option, or to say, you know what, let's look this up together. I think there's even a phone number for it. And then it's like you talk to someone else and someone else. And it's like, I'm a trusted voice. There's something about me that people feel like they can say something that they don't really want everyone to know. And that you would be flipping through and, like just, I'm envisioning that there would be one column where you're just like, what I accomplished, what made a difference. That would help you to just go, what do I want to do next?
Yep.
Or what do you want to do, and what have you done? What have you done of value that's going to help you? Because I've seen too many people wait until the week before they leave an assignment. They start brainstorming. Okay, what did I do this last year? Well, okay, you're about 51 weeks too late on that. So you have the self-discipline to keep a kind of a list of your accomplishments. One woman calls it a brag file, on that, kind of bragging on yourself. But you keep that, and that's what you display. That's what you put down, of your, of your accomplishments in that job at that time frame. Yeah.
Hey, Christine, I want to go back to your quote regarding, crisis and tragedy. And in my world, it's only a crisis when finances are affected. We can avoid crises. We can't avoid tragedies. There's going to be tragic things that happen. People are going to pass too soon. People are going to be diagnosed with illnesses that may or may not be terminal. Things are going to happen. Your car is going to break down. Your cost of living is going to go up. So there are things that we can prepare for. So when they do happen, they don't have to be a crisis, because they become a crisis when all of a sudden you can't afford it. Maybe a spouse gets diagnosed and you've got extra medical bills coming down that you weren't prepared for. Yeah. But there's enough history out there right now to know that, unfortunately, bad things and tragedies are going to happen.
Yes.
But if we're prepared for them, talk to the right people, the right experts, then you've got the right Medicare insurance in place to handle that when it happens. I hope and pray it never does happen. But if it does, at least you're prepared for it. So it may be tragic, and you may have to go through the grieving process, which we all have to, but it does not have to be a financial crisis in most cases if people will look ahead and be proactive.
Yeah. In each of your
go ahead.
Anticipate. Exactly.
A lot of people agree with that. It's like, just expect that the future is going, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
If he was trained to anticipate over in Korea on different things. I bet he was a bunch of times. So
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I was his fiance while he was over there.
Okay.
And he even, in a letter kind of prepared me for in the event of.
Yep.
And I have to say that was better than being an adult woman going, nothing will ever go wrong. And it actually, I won't get into more stories, because we're at the perfect point to say that there's two things that all three of you have in common. You have all taken on leadership roles and put yourself in the hot seat of being in charge of a networking group, or being the one who stepped forward and said, yes, I will go into those negotiation talks, or I will give my voice to a person that is at the beginning of Waco history, which Monica has done. You've put yourself in leadership positions and led and encouraged other people to come alongside or to be leadership in their spot. And the other thing that you all have in common is that you've given us given everyone who hears you a task to do going into the future, a task to do. And that is sitting down with Tim and just going, if I felt like I needed that, what notes do I need to make and keep that will help me to make the decision if I am in, I don't want to say crisis again. I'm going to say I'm emotionally compromised.
Yes.
And I need to make a quick decision, and it can't be just new information because I can't take it all in right now. If you are breathing today and you expect to do things today that will continue you breathing tomorrow, you are going to get 265. Or if you love being involved in things and you don't want to be told, but you've got enough money, just sit back, take it easy, and let everyone else do the hard work. Bill's going to tell you, but you have an entire gravity well around you, a wealth of experiences where you get to connect the dots of this, that, and this other one all had the same starting point. And I can see how people think, how groups react, how managers look for the person that they want to represent their product or company or whatever. You know, I can see that, whereas a person who simply hasn't had the experience. So yes, you are a very viable candidate for this job based upon something that a person who is younger cannot bring to the company. They bring something else. You bring this is how that situation was handled during that recession, during that, because I lived it. I saw what really happened. So I'm just thinking that you guys are pretty great. And we are really, I have to give myself the sign now. If I'm worth any salt at all as a host, I would just say, is there any last thing that you would like to say in the 2 minutes that remain? Anyone?
I want to say thank you very much for inviting me, inviting all of us here to your podcast. It means a lot to us all. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Oh, I'm so glad. This is the only time I'm going to have everyone in the city that I've already hung out with.
Yeah, very good. The only thing I would ask is don't hesitate to reach out and talk. A free consultation. Ask experts the right questions. You know, don't, as a former colleague told me one time, don't believe everything you think. So
interesting. I saw a heart from Monica. Was there any other thing you wanted to say? Oh no, we lost your audio. You can still hear me? I'm glad you gave me a heart.
Me too.
Oh, well, happy St. Patrick's Day. If we put all our hearts together, we have a 4-leaf clover. I just thought of that, which
That's
you can
right.
tell. All right, you guys. Scott's going to close the curtains on this this episode, and we're still on. So I will speak for Monica, saying Galveston's a great place to visit. Thank you to all three of you very, very much. I'm glad her audio